Let's get down to business, shall we? Let's talk UFC 299's co-main event, which features two southpaws, Benoit Saint-Denis versus Dustin Poirier in Miami. ATT's own Dustin Poirier, who should have a strong contingency of fans in his corner and in the stadium, cheering him on. I expect a war of attrition in this matchup. The slick striking of Dustin Poirier, which has brought him to currently a 29-8 overall record. Dustin Poirier, 35 years of age. He's going to be the shorter fighter here against Saint Denis, who's a massive, massive lightweight. It's incredible that Saint Denis has been able to make the lightweight limit during his bouts. You look at the reach advantage here, and Saint Denis has a 1-inch reach advantage, and the odds currently we have Benoit Saint-Denis as a minus 188 betting favorite. And on the other side of the fight, you have Dustin Poirier, who's coming in as the plus 146 underdog. So what gives? I'll tell you this, I'm expecting a war of attrition in this matchup. Now, the slick striking of Dustin Poirier is likely going to be into effect early and often. Poirier usually comes in dialed in. We've seen it against Eddie Alvarez, against Justin Gaethje, against so many others throughout the course of his career. Conor McGregor was the last southpaw that Dustin Poirier faced, and we saw how that went. But you watch back the Conor McGregor fight, and McGregor ends up pulling guillotine after about 2.5 minutes, seems to have burnt himself out early. We didn't draw much from that matchup. And I look back as far as the last time Dustin Poirier fought a southpaw was Jim Miller back in 2017. I was in attendance for that matchup. I believe the front hand that these fighters will be utilizing will be important. Everybody's going to be looking for that piston left hand coming from Dustin Poirier, but also the leg kicks of Jim Miller were causing Dustin Poirier fits in a southpaw stance. That's interesting. Both of these fighters are going to be open and susceptible to getting caught. Now, Poirier is the much cleaner striker, like light years ahead as far as striking goes. Benoit Saint-Denis is a fighter who recently took up mixed martial arts, and he was in the special forces. So he's a bit of a prodigy, so to speak, and what he lacks in skill, he has in will tenfold. And Poirier has been battle tested. We remember the Gaethje matchups, and Poirier is coming off of a knockout loss. The problem I have for Saint Denis is he can be a bit of a sitting duck out there on the feet against Zaleski dos Santos. We saw him get brutalized on the feet and kept coming forward and would not quit in that matchup. Now, can Poirier unload the kitchen sink on Benoit Saint-Denis multiple times and put him out? Because he's going to have to put Saint-Denis out. This bout is scheduled for 5 rounds. That's a long time. 25 minutes is a long time. And Saint-Denis can push a pace. His pressure, the fight against Thiago Moises, every time out, he's getting better and better. And you're seeing new wrinkles to his game against Bonfim. And then most recently against Matt Frivola, landing the head kick there. Now, the head kick might not be an option in this matchup, but what I will say is the pressure and pace of Saint-Denis, I think, is going to be put on full display here. And I look back to how both of these fighters have made their hay being battle tested. And Poirier, I see the mileage starting to really pile up on him. And I think that this is Benoit Saint-Denis' fight to win here. It pains me to say it because I've been a Dustin Poirier backer for quite some time, and I realize how much he's invested of himself. And we talked about that in the Vinicius Oliveira matchup, where he disposed of an opponent who came in on short notice, and you see how much of their lives, the fighters' lives that they're willing to sacrifice for glory and greatness. And and Sopai was a fighter who went down in a ball of flames, but he left it all out there. And this weekend coming up, UFC 299, you listen to the Poirier interviews and he's talking about, I'm 30, 35 years old. I have this many fights invested in the fight game at the UFC level. And who knows when the end's going to be here. Could be potentially this fight this weekend. It would not shock me. So as far as a breakdown goes, I see Benoit Saint-Denis, what he lacks in skill, he makes up for it in will, and he's going to close the distance and be a leech on Poirier, who, if you can get inside on him and pressure him, that is a cause for concern. I see Saint-Denis, only 28 years old, getting better and better every time out. I am personally on the Benoit Saint-Denis side. I got in at minus 135 and had continued to add to it. Since then, he's sitting at minus 188. At some books, he's well over minus 200 currently, and fight week is only beginning. So let's see where the odds end up going. But Dustin Poirier should not be counted out. There are no certainties in this game. And if you speak in absolutes when breaking down fights, you are that is not what should be happening here, because there are no certainties in this game. I will say my pick will be Benoit Saint-Denis. I think that when you talk about the damage that both of these fighters have taken, yes, you see the Zaleski dos Santos beating that Benoit Saint-Denis took up at 170 pounds. This is a lightweight matchup. Granted, Dustin Poirier can crack. That left hand is going to be available, but I believe that the damage that Poirier has taken in his career is going to be an issue here, especially coming off of the Justin Gaethje knockout loss, where we saw that was supposed to be for the BMF title. And you mentioned here that Benoit Saint-Denis' defense versus southpaws worries you here, and I agree to a certain extent, but I also see that that this will likely become a war of attrition, and that Benoit Saint-Denis is not going to be going anywhere. It's going to have to take a kill shot by Dustin Poirier to take Benoit Saint-Denis out there. And understanding that this fight is scheduled for 5 rounds, I think that's a difference maker also for Benoit Saint-Denis. I think that he has the tools here and the intangibles to win this fight. But Poirier, high IQ as far as a fighter goes, the striking acumen, there are levels to this game, and Poirier definitely is the better striker here. But as far as the grappling goes and the pace that is going to be pushed at this stage in Dustin Poirier's career, I don't think that he's going to be able to hold up to the pace that Benoit Saint-Denis is going to be pushing here. So the pick is going to be Benoit Saint-Denis. I have so much respect for Dustin Poirier. I listened to the Boss song by James Brown. I've paid the cost to be the boss. Dustin Poirier comes out to that walkout song often by James Brown, and it really speaks volumes regarding who he is. So cheers to Dustin Poirier for all he's done for the mixed martial arts industry and the UFC, and also for those in Louisiana and around the world. But I'm going to be picking Benoit Saint-Denis to get this done, and for Benoit Saint-Denis to walk away with the victory. I think that you must realize the potential in Benoit Saint-Denis, that he is a special talent. The win over Matt Frevola was something. I know there's different levels in competition, but Matt Frevola is tough as nails. Been in there against Arman Sarukian and others, and I think that Benoit Saint-Denis, it's his time. It's his time. So give me Benoit Saint-Denis for the win. And remember, go get what's yours. Have a fantastic rest of your evening. Thank you.